When did the classmates who said you'd peak in high school see how wrong they were? In high school, I was never the standout. Not popular, not athletic, not even particularly smart. I was quiet, kept to myself. I heard the whispers. "He'll peak in high school," some of the jocks would say, going nowhere fast. It stung, even though I pretended it didn't. I graduated with no real plans, just a vague sense of dread. For a few years, it felt like they were right. My parents lost their jobs, then they lost the house. I was 19, living in a cheap, tiny apartment, working minimum wage jobs just to pay my share of the rent. I worked at a grocery store stocking shelves, then later as a cleaner. Every month was a struggle. I felt trapped. It was a dark time. I thought that was my life now. Then my younger sister got sick. It wasn't immediately life-threatening, but it was serious. She needed specialized treatment, and it was expensive. My parents were devastated and overwhelmed. They didn't know how they would pay for it. I saw the fear in their eyes. I knew I had to do something. I started working 2 jobs, sometimes 3. During the day, I cleaned offices. At night, I worked at a diner. I saved every single dollar. I knew a regular diner customer who was an IT specialist. He told me about online certifications. He said they could open doors, so I started studying late at night. After my shifts, I was exhausted all the time. I barely slept. My social life disappeared entirely. Friends stopped calling. I just focused on work and studying. One early morning, after pulling an all-nighter studying, I took the certification exam. My hands were shaking. A week later, the email came. "Congratulations." I had passed. A few interviews followed. I landed a job at a small tech company. The pay was more than I'd ever imagined. The first thing I did was pay off my parents' medical bills. Then I helped them put a down payment on a small house, nothing fancy, but it was theirs again. My sister was getting better too. It felt like a weight lifted off my entire family. A few months later, I was back in my hometown visiting. I ran into a few old classmates at the local diner, the same diner I used to work in. Mark, who was always the loudest about me peaking, was there with a couple of others. He looked surprised to see me. "Hey," he said, a little awkwardly. "You look good." We talked for a few minutes about nothing much. I didn't tell them about my job, or my parents' new house, or how my sister was doing. I just smiled, paid for my coffee, and walked out. I didn't need to say anything. I knew I hadn't peaked. I was just getting started.